Hello and welcome, it's Deborah from Attic Lane and you're at day 4 of my 12 Cards of Christmas series. I'm going to share as many different techniques and creative ideas as I can pack into each of these short daily videos, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to make sure you don't miss anything. And today's card has a strong Nordic influence, so let's get making. I'm using white craft foam to cut out a couple of small mittens. I'm cutting these out from a template I drew because mittens are a simple enough shape that I can draw them, and to get the mirror image I just turn my template the other way up. I'm cutting them out with my scissors before embossing them. These are 2 embossing folders that were originally 8 inches wide, but because my Big Shot machine is only 6 inches I cut these down the side. I just opened up both plates and used strong kitchen scissors to shear off the excess. They're different plates and I'm going to do different things with each of them. I'm positioning my mittens in this one so that they capture the biggest part of the design, and I'll run them through my Big Shot, and when they come out I hope you'll be able to see on the camera that they do have quite a heavy texture, just as you would expect little winter mittens to have. With the other plate I embossed a piece of white card which is going to work as my background for these. This is some red gingham ribbon, and I'm going to glue this to the front of my card and I'll secure it on the back with a little run of glue. I'm going to add glue to the reverse and then stick that all onto a piece of craft card, and I'm going to cut a very thin border around that card. I've got some red and some white card, and I'm using some snowflakes from a recent My Favourite Things release to design some snowflakes that I will stick on the front of my card. And I'm using my glitter glue pen to run over the centre of these and stick them together. Once I've prepared all the elements of my card I can begin to assemble it. I'm using a white top folding base card and I'm going to stick my background to that. This is the craft card where I cut a very fine mat for my embossed white card to sit on the top of. With that in position I'm going to bring in my snowflakes and I'm going to have a lovely time faffing around with those, trying to decide where to position them, but I will spare you most of that faffing and I'll cut to the next stage. These are my little mittens and I want to put some string around them. To secure the string in place I'm going to use some double-sided tape at the point where the wrist would be, where you would naturally get a little piece of string to secure your mittens. With the little bit that's left over I'm going to stick that onto the palm part of the mitten. That will help me secure it to my card when I'm ready to glue it all down. I've got some lovely bright red twine, very festive, and I'm going to put this around the wrist of each of the mittens using the little bit of sticky that I put on the reverse to help me hold it into position. I'm not going to cut my twine because I want the mittens to stay attached to each other. So I'm going to fold it in half and then I'm going to apply the twine to the second mitten. I want to add a little knot to the top, so I'm going to do that and then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip the top through so it looks as if they're 2 individual strings holding the mittens. I'm going to use some wet glue to stick that knot into position on my ribbon, and then I'm going to begin to stick my lovely little snowflakes into place as well. I'm using a sentiment from a My Favourite Things stamp, and I will add all of the details of the supplies that I used at the bottom of this video, and I'm inking that up with a Versacolour ink pad called Scarlet. Now I'm going to cut my sentiment down to size. I'm going to snip off a little bit at the right hand side and I'm going to cut off a slight angle on the left hand side, and then I'm going to glue it on the back and I'm going to stick it on the bottom of my card. Now I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow, and I'm going to leave you with a little music and some close-ups of today's card.